I mean, man. I mean,
So fucked up.
but this one is messed up too. This is about the brother in Philly who was exonerated for a murder after 24 years, but some things kind of happened here that didn't go right.
Serving 24 years in prison for a murder he did not commit. A Philadelphia man who was given a $4.1 million settlement by city officials is going back to prison. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, 50-year-old Shaurn Thomas entered a guilty plea in court on Thursday for the January 3, 2023, murder of 38-year-old Akeem Edwards due to a $1,200 drug debt. He was previously sentenced to life in prison after being found guilty of second-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of a Puerto Rican businessman in November 1990. However, Thomas had long maintained his innocence, claiming that he was jailed at a juvenile jail when Domingo Martinez, then 78, died. The Innocence Project assisted in Thomas's release in 2017. The group's lawyers found that investigators were aware that Thomas might have an alibi and even had 36 pages of unpublished witness testimony that pointed to other possibilities. But they focused on Thomas because of claims made by two suspected co-conspirators. But as time went on, those co-conspirators' accounts shifted, and one even ended up rescinding his testimony, saying that police officers had given him a fake narrative and beaten him until he repeated it. Despite prosecutors stating they were not completely certain Thomas was innocent, the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office finally decided not to retry the case. The source claims that after Thomas was freed from prison, he declared that he had no animosity toward the police at the time and intended to just move on forward. Thomas paid $4.15 million to settle a lawsuit against the city 3 years later. Additionally, he had become one of many Philadelphians whose convictions were overturned and who were released from prison. He met Ketra Veazey there. In 2019, Willie, his brother, got his murder conviction thrown out. Prosecutors stated that after 6 years of intermittent dating, Thomas asked her to put him in touch with her childhood buddy, Akeem Edwards, in order to ask him if he might sell him some cocaine last fall. After giving Edwards a sandwich bag full of cocaine, the ex-offender instructed him to bring back $1,200 from the sales, but Edwards failed to do so by January 3, 2023. After meeting at Veazey's house in Delaware that day, Thomas headed to Philadelphia to do some errands. However, Thomas recommended that they drive about the area to see if they could locate Edwards before they went back home, she claimed. According to Veazey, Thomas exited the vehicle when they finally caught sight of him. She later stated in her testimony that she never wished Edwards any harm and was unaware that Thomas was carrying a gun that day. Then she heard gunfire and saw Thomas putting the gun in his waistband while rushing back to the car. "He's hit, he's down, just drive," he ordered her, Veazey recalled, and she did. Veazey claimed her partner made a startling disclosure when they were driving back to Delaware. Veazey testified. He stated that it was his third murder and that he was unable to return to prison. She further said that Thomas urged her to keep my mouth quiet or else, because he knew where her family and kids resided. However, a few weeks later, a federal informant told homicide detectives that Veazey was with Thomas and that they had talked about Edwards' murder. According to the Inquirer, the source also stated that Thomas targeted Veazey because he was worried that she would assist investigators. Following that, police searched Thomas's house and found 5 firearms as well as a Gap hoodie that looked similar to the one the shooter at Edwards was wearing. After being detained and accused of unlawfully possessing a firearm, Thomas was freed on bond. As the inquiry went forward, Philadelphia police obtained mobile phone information that identified Veazey and Thomas as being there at the incident. In March, they were both taken into custody and accused of murder. Veazey eventually consented to collaborate with authorities and testify against Thomas in exchange for less serious charges after Thomas wrote her letters while she was incarcerated, which she claimed were menacing. Veazey is awaiting punishment after ultimately entering a guilty plea to counts of conspiracy and aggravated assault last year. Thomas entered a guilty plea to 6 charges, including third-degree murder, conspiracy, and unlawful gun possession, and he did not refute any of the allegations made in court on Thursday. His sentencing is scheduled for February.
Dom, what you got?
Yo. This will be talking about niggas in the hood. Like y'all be like you got
His name is Shaurn Thomas too. For people that they didn't say it in there, but it's Shaurn Thomas.
Y'all, you got almost
He
5
got
million.
4.1 million. He got 4.1 million.
4.1. I thought it was 4.7.
Yep, 4.1.
$4.1 million. And you mad about $1,200 about some cocaine. Why are you even in the streets? First of all, this nigga don't look 50, by the way.
He looked younger.
He looked way younger. And so you know how people say like the lotto be cursed?
Mm-hmm.
This is like an example of that. Because if he really killed that old man or whatever, you're talking about this your third murder or whatever. If you really killed that old man, that was your karma coming back. Your ass got caught up for $1,200. You couldn't just walk the straight and narrow path.
Yep, easily.
You didn't even live in Philly no more, nigga.
But
that's
also,
what you get. Your dumb ass. That's what your dumb ass get.
But on the flip side, if he didn't do the original murder, prison makes you be fucked up too, though.
But he said that it was 3. This is his third murder.
Right. So that makes you think, okay, so what was the other 2 then?
Yeah, what's the other 2? Did you really kill that man? Are they gonna give his money back? Do he have kids? Does that money go to his kids?
But
I can see him blowing through it. I mean, that's a lot to blow through, but in hindsight, it's really not.
Because he got it in when did he get the
2017?
So he got out in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Check.
3 years later.
So he just got it in 2020 then. Damn, so this motherfucker blew through 4.1 million. Now,
if he did.
Or he could just be saying just being on some nigga shit in general. Is like I
think he's just on nigga shit in general and went back.
He lived in Delaware. Delaware is like it's kind of like a suburban like setup from Philly. So it's like he was in Philly still, it's like being in Illinois and then coming to St. Louis side. Not necessarily suburban, but he was doing all right over there in Delaware. That's for sure, probably. But why was you in that? But that jail life shit will get you, man. And some cats, he probably more comfortable in there.
Somebody said that his boyfriend, he really like it on the inside. He must got somebody that he messing with. That's just like that one dude that was like who did his full time because, it was he had men on there that he was fucking with, and so he just didn't care. He was like, "Shit, I'm gonna do my full time."
I'm gonna do my full time. I don't want to leave.
That's wild.
Dude, it's crazy to think about the idea that you win that much money. But like I said, it's a mentality. So he went in and he was in there for 24 years. He got out in 2017. So he went in 93. So if he's 50 now, that means he was like early 20s, like 2021. Yeah. So I've always been told that, and I've always been read and been told that whatever age you go into jail in is what age you are when you come out.
I can see that. That makes sense. That makes hella sense.
So if he was, let's throw out there 21 years old. He's 21 getting out. And basically you gave a 24-year-old 4.1 million, because if it was 3 years later that he got the money, 2017 he get out, he's a 24-year-old with 4.1 million.
Yeah, mentally, you on nigga shit, and you like, oh, I could probably flip this into 8.
Yep. And look, I already did time. Ain't no way they gonna try to get me again because they don't want to come up on another situation.
Right. And give me even more money.
Yep, 4.1 already. They gonna be scared to come at your boy.
Yep.
I'm out here in Delaware. Shit.
Right.
I'm gonna flip this real quick. I've been watching the movies in jail. I know how to do this shit. But all seriousness though, like that's whoo.
That's really sad and sucky. Like you just let your old self. It's like good, the good angel, and then like the devil, and you let that devil come up on you for real, and just be like, "Hey, it's just
Check it
one
out.
time." And then it probably wasn't consistent. It was probably like spread out. Hey y'all, if y'all like what y'all see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends because we got all the tea. And if you want to check out more stuff from us, be sure to hit that button right there on the right side so you can see other stuff and again share with everybody.